Hello and welcome back to Pure on the Road. I'm Sam Marasini back at VMware Explore 2022, right in front of the huge Pure booth behind us. And I'm with Marsha Pierce, who, by the way, is going to be presenting in this theater behind us in just a little bit. You're going to be talking about SQL Server 2022. You're going to be talking about all this new stuff that's happening. What's your talk track, or what do you think's new?
So, as data sets are growing, we've been talking about this for a year, that people are starting to experience data gravity issues, which is the larger your data set is, maybe things like restoring or moving data are going to take longer and longer.
That's right.
Well, we've been working with VMware for a long time on vVols, and it just keeps getting better with each version. Well, some new things that we started working on as well is working with Microsoft and changing some of the integrations that storage has with Microsoft. So now we can do some really interesting things, like we've been able to back up to our FlashBlade for a long time using NFS, but with SQL 2022, there is now S3 integration so that you can back up directly to S3 so that you can have that single namespace, not have to partition out your files, and get a fast backup and restore.
So that's all part of the data virtualization thing that Microsoft's talking about. Part of it. And it's all about having that object store, the S3, which is really cool. It expands our capabilities and it brings in all of the goodness that we've always had, right? SnapLock for ransomware protection, sitting on a different device. And that's just one.
That's one. So then you talked about data virtualization.
Yeah.
They expanded that in as well. And so with what was their big data clusters project, they added in some data virtualization to that, and so now you can query S3 object stores directly from SQL Server as well. So we worked with the Microsoft team on testing and validating and doing some of that work as well.
That's awesome, and that's also where some of our channel partners are helping you, our customers, get to that next generation of SQL Server, re-architect it, and really take advantage of some of those new features.
Right, because everybody's familiar with SQL Server, so now when you're starting to look at that S3, maybe you don't have to have a whole new team come in and learn something. They can do it directly from within SQL Server.
I love that. We also had a couple of presentations, not just in our booth, but for the conference, and in one of those we talked about vVols and active cluster and stretch clusters. So put SQL Server on top of that, you got some pretty cool capabilities.
You do, but let's talk about the other thing, right?
All right.
We love active cluster,
but
DBAs love availability groups from Microsoft.
Okay.
Right, but when it comes to data gravity, again, the larger the data sets get, when you have to seed an AG, that's always been problematic. It takes a long time because an AG is just basically another copy of your database, right? So every time you want to add extra resiliency in, you have to spin up another copy, which means you have to do another restore. Well, wouldn't it be great if you could do that with snapshots?
Sure.
Traditional snapshots did not work when crossing arrays, and that technology has not changed in a long time. So we kind of talked to Microsoft about that. They changed how that works with SQL 2022. So there are now snapshot commands you can pull right from directly within SQL Server instead of having to go outside to the Windows operating system like you did before. And those snapshots now are transferable between arrays, meaning that if you have to seed an AG, you've had a failover, you can do it in a few seconds across domains, across clouds, where you couldn't do that before.
Multi-cloud supportabilities with snapshots, you're pulling all these things together and making it real, Marsha.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and I think everybody's kind of we're working together with VMware, with Microsoft as a team, and we're all kind of seeing these issues, and relationships are getting really close, and I love seeing all that.
And that's awesome. And you have to call out that VMware, during their keynote, they talked about vSphere 8 that's coming. We know that Microsoft announced SQL 22, it will be out later this year, but that just brings us the next set of capabilities, integration points, to help you uncomplicate data storage under the covers.
Right.
Because that's really what this is about, making it easier for DBA to do everything you just talked about.
Right. We've talked about storage admins architecting their storage platforms for years, but we don't talk about how DBAs actually architect for performance as well in many of the same ways as storage admins, and we're helping them get around a lot of those hurdles and not have to do as much of that work.
And make sure the next data migration from a storage point of view is your last, because the evergreen capabilities of our architecture have always been there, and they've always provided that. No more upgrades, no more repurchasing the capacity every 3 years like everybody has been doing forever. Stop, don't do it anymore. Next migration's your last, evergreen.
That's what I always say. Don't migrate ever again. this will be your last one.
It's absolutely true. So Marsha, thank you. Thank you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more. We got more from it coming from VMware Explore, along with other conferences as we continue to take Pure on the road. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.